Welcome. If you're out there trying to navigate the world of talent acquisition right now, maybe you're in HR, trying to make hiring smoother.
Or perhaps a talent acquisition specialist looking for those top people, or a recruiter building pipelines.
Exactly. Or even an investor looking at a company's talent strength.
Yeah.
You know how, well, overwhelming it can feel? So many options, so much on the line.
It really is. Just sifting through candidates, hoping you find the right fit. It can feel a bit hit or miss sometimes.
But what if there's, a smarter way? That's what we want to explore today.
Absolutely. The usual ways. Well, they often mean wasted time, wasted resources.
And the cost of a bad hire. It impacts productivity, team morale,
Yeah.
everything. Finding a more precise method feels pretty essential.
So today we're diving into a different approach, one that's really grounded in understanding people's behavioral profiles.
Right. How that understanding can maybe revolutionize finding and keeping top talent and ultimately help your organization grow.
And we've looked at this from a few angles. There's stuff on early career planning.
Which is surprisingly relevant, actually.
Yeah. And comparisons of personality assessments, some discussions about professional communities. But the main thing is Rutherford International's TalentNet.
And the science behind it.
Exactly.
So our mission, really, for you listening, is to pull out the key insights. Specifically, how these newer talent methods like TalentNet could be a game changer for employers needing great people.
And that's across the board, right? From identifying high potential young professionals.
So finding those really experienced executives or specialized consultants for key projects.
Okay, so maybe let's start with why we even need a different approach. The traditional way resumes, job boards. It's not always hitting the mark, is it?
No. The sources we looked at suggest there are some real inefficiencies there. And risks, too.
The numbers are quite stark, actually.
They really are. We saw figures suggesting almost, 3/4 of employees feel less than satisfied?
Nearly 75%, yeah. And then over 60% are reportedly disengaged.
Just think about that productivity drink, 60%.
It points to a big disconnect, doesn't it, between people and the work they do. And another stat that jumped out.
The departures.
Yeah, something like 80% of involuntary departures aren't because someone lacked the skills. It's usually behavioral issues, mismatches.
That's huge. You can teach a skill, right?
Yeah.
But changing behavior, much tougher.
Exactly. And these are those costly detours we hear about. The expense, the time, the impact on the team when you have to rehire again and again.
So if those methods have drawbacks, what's a better way? How do we find the right people more reliably?
Well, this is where using personality science in hiring comes in. Specifically the way Rutherford International approaches it. It gives you a much deeper look beyond just the resume.
Right, not just surface level stuff. It's more data driven. And the core of their approach is this Davidovich personality theory.
That's the one. And what's really different about it is the level of detail. It's not just putting people into a few big boxes.
Okay.
It apparently evaluates 85 distinct personality traits.
85, wow, okay. That's a lot more granular than most.
It really is. So you get a much richer, sort of more nuanced picture of someone's likely behaviors.
And the idea is that this detail helps predict performance better.
That's the claim. The sources say this Davidovich theory has about an 85% accuracy rate in correlating personality with likely job performance.
85%. That sounds ambitious. How does that compare?
Well, the average for many other psychometric tools is apparently quite a bit lower, maybe around 55%. So yeah, 85% would significantly outperform most competitors.
Okay, now that gets interesting for anyone trying to hire top talent.
Yeah.
If you can boost your odds of getting the right person that much.
It makes a massive difference to efficiency, to the bottom line, everything. And that's the thinking behind TalentNet.
Right. So it's a platform, but it's built on this assessment, prioritizing that behavioral fit.
Exactly. It moves beyond just skills and experience on paper. The Davidovich assessment results are central.
So let's talk practical benefits for the HR teams, the TA specialists, the recruiters listening. What does TalentNet actually do for them?
Well, first off, you get access to a pool of talent that's already been assessed. TalentNet tends to focus on people scoring in the upper quartile.
Meaning they likely have strong performance potential already baked in.
That's the idea. So you're starting with a more qualified group, which should save a lot of screening time.
Makes sense. Saves wading through hundreds of less suitable applications.
Right. And because it emphasizes behavioral and cultural fit so much, the goal is also better retention.
Ah, the sticking power. If someone fits the role in the company culture on that deeper level.
They're just more likely to thrive, right? and stay longer.
And didn't the sources mention some specific figures
Oh,
about productivity?
they did. Pretty bold claims, actually, like hires from TalentNet showing around 48% higher productivity.
48%.
Yeah. And contributing to about 25% greater profitability. Now, those are significant numbers if they hold true. It shows the potential impact of getting that personality role alignment right.
Okay, so it helps fill current roles. But what about looking ahead? Building those talent pipelines everyone talks about.
That's a really key strategic point. TalentNet is apparently designed for that too, to help build pipelines proactively.
How so?
By understanding the personality profiles that succeed in your specific roles, you can identify and start engaging potential future hires before you even have an opening.
That's much more strategic than just reacting to vacancies. And it's not just for permanent full-time roles, is it?
No, and that's a big plus. It covers a whole range of talent. Yes, traditional job seekers, but also like independent consultants with niche skills.
Okay.
Fractional executives for part-time leadership, even turnaround specialists for companies in transition.
So it's more like a whole talent ecosystem, more flexible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you do post a job, what can you expect?
Good question. What about the quality?
Well, they offer a guarantee, which is interesting. A minimum of 2 vetted candidates for every posting.
2 vetted candidates. That's quite a commitment. Again, saves time for busy hiring teams.
Definitely cuts down on sorting through unsuitable applicants. Plus, they provide tools for employers to directly engage with candidates.
Like searching the database themselves.
Yeah, searching based on criteria, building your own private talent pools of people you like, communicating directly. It streamlines things.
What about those really senior roles?
Yeah.
Where the best person might not even be looking?
Ah, yes. The platform apparently provides access to what they call the hidden job market or incognito prospects.
Incognito, meaning?
Meaning successful people who might be open to a move but aren't actively applying or putting their resume out there. TalentNet lets employers tap into that pool discreetly.
That could be incredibly valuable for executive search, finding people who aren't on the usual radar.
For sure. And if companies need more help reaching those passive candidates, TalentNet also offers talent agency representation. So you get experienced recruiters actively reaching out on your behalf.
Sounds pretty comprehensive.
Right.
Covering a lot of the typical hiring headaches. You mentioned succession planning, too.
Right. The analytics behind the assessments are meant to help predict potential beyond just the current role.
So spotting future leaders within the candidate pool or even assessing internal talent.
Exactly. Identifying and nurturing that next generation of leaders. It's a key piece for long-term stability.
What about companies that rely heavily on project-based work, like consultancies?
For them, TalentNet acts as a sort of clearinghouse, a streamlined way to find independent contractors, fractional execs for specific client projects.
So quick access to specialized skills without the long-term overhead. That's crucial for consultancies.
Definitely. It gives both the consultants flexibility and the firms quick access to expertise. So it seems designed to help a wide range of employers, really.
From building a core team to finding niche experts for specific gigs.
Yes, it's about a more targeted, efficient way to get the right talent, whatever the specific need is.
Now, you mentioned it's a curated platform. It's not just open to anyone to join as a candidate, right?
That's right. There's a selectivity aspect. The sources suggest candidates generally need a strong performance record, often described as being in the top quartile of their field.
Okay, so a built-in quality filter from the start.
Pretty much. And for certain programs, like they're rising stars for high potential younger professionals.
Yeah.
They need an above average score on the Rutherford assessment just to get in.
So employers are connecting with people already vetted to some degree.
Exactly. And this selectivity goes even further for some services, like that incognito job search help. The criteria there are apparently very strict, focusing on a really elite group.
It paints a picture of a much more focused, maybe more strategic way to handle talent acquisition.
Yeah.
Especially for finding those top performers.
Yeah, exactly. And it connects back to Rutherford's bigger vision of creating this effective talent ecosystem, all powered by their personality science.
Okay, so let's try and crystallize this. For you, the listener, maybe you're an HR streamlining things, or TA hunting unicorns, or a recruiter building pipelines.
Or maybe you're in private equity looking for leaders who drive growth, or a consultancy needing top experts fast.
Right. The main takeaway seems to be the potential that lies in using personality science, using platforms like TalentNet. It offers a more strategic, data-driven way to find and hire really good people.
Mm.
at all levels.
And it prompts a question, doesn't it? How could understanding behavioral strengths better and aligning them with roles, how could that really transform your talent strategy and boost your organization's success?
It's definitely something to think about. We'd suggest maybe checking out RutherfordINTEL.io if you want to learn more about the assessment itself or TalentNet's features.
See how it might fit your specific needs, whether it's sourcing entry-level stars or seasoned executives or specialized consultants.
Because ultimately, embracing these kinds of innovative approaches, well, it offers the potential to build teams that are not just productive, but genuinely engaged and successful.
And ready to drive real growth and help you hit those big strategic goals.